Hi, I'm Dr. David Dobson. Welcome to Conversations. Today I'm joined by Dr. Chaitali Bonke, whose work sits right at the intersection of artificial intelligence, digital platforms, and real world decision making. She just completed her PhD in business administration with a concentration in information systems at University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Chitali, welcome to the show and congratulations on earning your PhD.
Hello, Dr. Dobson. Thank you for inviting me to your wonderful podcast. And I'm grateful for completing my PhD this year.
Wonderful. Before we jump into your research, have you had a chance to celebrate yet?
It feels great. I mean, 5 years is a long time. So I feel this is like towards the end of my journey as a PhD student, but definitely it's still a journey. It's a new journey into of becoming a faculty member to be a researcher. So I think it's going to be a new journey.
That's great. Well, let's jump right into the research. I would like to start with how AI is shaking up the job market. You
Mhm.
analyze online freelancing platforms like freelancer.com to see what happens when gig workers list generative AI as a skill. What are clients actually looking for here? Are workers who list AI tools able to charge a premium, or is AI proficiency becoming a baseline expectation?
Yeah, so it was kind of very interesting to actually work on this project where we actually looked at hundreds of projects, online projects, and how bidders who wanted to work on these projects actually put out their bids. And those bidders, we actually analyzed those bidders um, who actually listed that they had generative AI skills. And we tried to find whether clients wanted to hire these bidders to complete their projects, to complete their jobs. So we looked at different aspects like the review means what kind of reviews these bidders had, what kind of contribution they had done in the past, and also the knowledge of generative AI, which they mentioned in their bids when they bidded for these projects. And we found that after doing the analysis, we found that for this particular platform, there wasn't a very strong relation to being hired and having these generative AI skills because some of the clients they felt that having real skills to do the job were much more relevant compared to having the generative AI skills. Probably this is really still in the beginning phase of the um, having generative AI skills. So probably in the future it might change. But what we found was it is still not that big of a not that big in the hiring community. The
Mm,
other two aspects which we actually saw was the amount um, asked by the bidders to complete a job and the duration of completion of job was still the dominant requirements for being hired for completing jobs. So this is what we have found in our research. Probably in the future it could be a different outcome.
that makes total sense. Uh,
Yeah.
that connects directly to your research on how these platforms shape public behavior.
Mhm.
You analyzed how information spread during major cryptocurrency market
Mhm.
swings, comparing posts from human versus automated bot accounts. When you look at viral tweets during these market swings, what differentiates bot behavior from human behavior, and how much are these bots driving the narrative?
Yes, so there has been some research done previously where social media behavior has been analyzed and the effect on trading volume and cryptocurrency pricing has been done. So we thought we came up with this idea that probably the content that is being shared on social media and its virality could be based on the accounts which are creating these contents. So we tried to identify and separate the accounts, like human accounts and bot accounts, and then we analyze the content which are generated by both these accounts. And the different thing what we tried doing is using language. The language which was used in the content was analyzed to see what were the driving factors which were helping with the virality. So we saw that certain language, so human generated, the outcome of this research was that the human generated content was more viral compared to the bot generated content on this particular social media. And that was because the human generated content was more complex. The language being used was more complex compared to the bot generated content with respect to cryptocurrency. So if you look at what is generated by humans versus bots, definitely the human generated content was more. There was another thing which we actually found was the topics. So there were certain topics which were more viral when generated by or spread by bots compared to humans, and there were certain topics which were more viral because of humans. So this was outcome from this research.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting how much control those
Mm.
bot networks actually have. Chitali, moving
Yes, sir.
from virtual platforms to physical environments,
Yeah.
your work on smart cities during technologies like digital
Mhm.
twin directly into individual homes.
Mhm.
For listeners unfamiliar with that concept, could you walk us through how a household digital twin works and how it helps a family prepare for a hurricane?
Yes, definitely. So basically, digital twins are like replicas of physical objects. So
Mm,
what was the interesting thing? What I found was I wanted to use digital twins in my research because I've seen them being used in the medical field, and it's being used very actively in automotive field where they create like replicas of cars, and then they add some features online like digitally, and they test it online, so they don't have to create a physical car, first test it, and then again what was being done in the past. But now technology is so advanced that they can create a digital twin, a replica, add some features, test it.
mm,
And I wanted to also integrate it with something related to sustainability as well as
mm,
um, because there are a lot of hurricanes which
mhm,
Texas faces, and some of the neighboring states like
mm,
Louisiana also faces a lot of hurricanes.
mm,
So we tried to see whether we could focus on a unit like a house. So
mm,
there has been some research, very little research done on urban city digital twin, but we wanted to focus on how homeowners could actually have more control
mm,
on the effect of disasters which
mm,
they are affected by. So we created like a conceptual design in the beginning, and then we created um, visual simulation design. And we had like five categories of hurricanes because there are five main categories of hurricanes
mm,
which a home could be affected by.
mm,
And we tested it to see how much damage was caused and how much the insurance companies and homeowners had to pay out of pocket.
mm,
Then what we did was we thought, okay, probably we could also give some recommendations based on
mm,
the damage cost, and also like what if most of the homeowners had like trees around the house, and how much damage those trees caused.
mm,
So what would it reduce the amount of damage if there was like some kind of trimming done, what
mm,
level of trimming was
mm,
done for all five categories to see how it affected. So this
mm,
was the basic simulation which we tried to do. And
mm,
we were like, okay, probably this would be so different stakeholders. What we considered were homeowners, the
mm,
community, the government, as well as the platform
mm,
on which they could give an input, and they could see
mm,
what the simulation provided them, what suggestions were provided. and also probably insurance companies could try and adopt it so that they would be able to know how much cost it's they would have to pay, or how much
Mhm.
damage. Also, the homeowners would know how much damage out of pocket costs they would have to pay for.
That's super cool way to think about
Mm,
disaster prep. Very good.
mm, yes,
Uh, Chitali, in your
yes,
PhD
sir.
research, you have
Mm-hmm,
addressed several timely topics from AI
mm-hmm,
in the workforce
mm-hmm,
and social media
mm-hmm,
algorithms and disaster management.
yes.
Looking ahead,
Mm-hmm.
where do you plan to take this research next?
Um, so, Professor, we are just trying to integrate the AI technologies
Mhm.
and also see what is the difference, right, between what was traditionally done versus what is currently done, like how uh, AI could affect or improve the research. So we are just trying to see whether AI could help explain different problems,
Mhm.
and also find solutions for those problems. So we are just in the process of also probably we could do quasi experimentation for
Mhm.
certain research,
Mhm.
but we're just trying to explore how we could use AI. Yeah.
Trying to keep you busy, Chitali, for sure.
Yeah.
Chitali, thank you so much for taking the time to share your
Yeah.
research with us today. Wish
Mhm.
you all the best in the next
Mhm.
chapter of your academic and professional
Mhm.
journey.
Yes, I truly appreciate for inviting me today, Dr. Dobson, and thank you so much for your wishes as well. Yeah.
And to our audience, thank you for joining us on Conversations. Until next time, take care.